video, I'm going to demonstrate the tubular cast on in the round. And this is a 2x2 tubular cast on in the round. And I have another video on the tubular 2x2 cast on. And in the instructions on my website for how to work it, where I direct everybody, I tell you exactly where to join in the round, but I don't think that was enough. I should have demonstrated it in the video because it's been confusing to a lot of people. You know, how can we join in the round and we kind of have a little bit of knitting going? I'm going to show you that here. First, I'm going to run through 2x2 cast on the whole thing, just on a little sample, and then actually show you how and when to join in the round. So let's go and take a look. This is a tubular cast on, the example of a tubular cast on, and it's really nice for hats because it kind of just rolls into nothing and it's really stretchy, so it's really comfortable to wear on your head, on your forehead. And this is alpaca yarn, which doesn't really have any give to it, but you can see that that's really nice, has a lot of give to it. So, and I'm also going to show you how to take care of this weaving in this end when we're done. So to get started, I'm just going to do a few stitches here, so just to demonstrate the technique. I'm going to use some scrap yarn. I'm going to do a provisional cast on. I'm going to tie a knot in this scrap yarn to mark the slip knot end. There's my slip knot. Get my needle in there. It does not, whoops, not yet. Sorry. Get my crochet hook in there. I'm going to crochet chain a few stitches. Now I know what I'm doing here. Put my knitting needle over the working yarn, reach the crochet hook over and pull it through. This is a nice provisional cast on that doesn't require picking up stitches. Okay, I'm just going to do a few. Okay. I'm going to crochet chain a few stitches at the end and then cut the yarn and pull that through. Okay. Now the next little thing, that's in a scrap yarn. Now we're going to actually start with the real yarn that we're using. And I'm going to use this pink yarn. And we march the slip knot end because I want to start at the slip knot end for this. Starting at the slip knot end, I want to work 4 rows of stockinette, which means knit a row, purl a row, knit a row, purl a row. Turn the work. I don't actually understand how all of this stockinette ends up making a ribbed cast on, but it does. I would have to break it down and really pay attention to each step. Okay, the last purl row. And now we want to take out the provisional cast on. Oh, I should mention, you want to start with half of the number of stitches you're going to eventually need. So I cast on 12, but when I'm finished, I'm going to have 24 stitches. So yeah, that's important. So starting at the non-slip knot end, it's all in the written instructions, but starting at the non-slip knot end, I want to take out this crochet chain, and I want to put these stitches up on a needle And the first stitch is always wonky. The working yarn goes straight through it. It's also pretty tight usually. Get in there. I'm going to take another needle to pull that yarn out of the stitch. There we go. Okay, from here on it's a little easier. You look at the stitch below the provisional cast on. So the pink stitch is a V, right? I want to put the leg, whoops, I want to put the needle under the right leg of the V. And then I can pop that stitch out under the right leg of the V all the way across. I usually like to do a few at a time so I can have that satisfying unzipping, which sometimes catches. If the stitch is split at all, it will do that. It's not a problem. Okay. So now I have stitches on the back needle and stitches on the front needle. I want to kind of fold these together. And what I'm going to do is knit 2 stitches from the front needle and purl 2 stitches from the back needle. And this sounds nuts. Knit, knit, yarn forward, go to the back needle, purl, purl. Woo. Knit, knit, yarn forward on the back needle, purl, purl. You can see how now we're doubling the number of stitches that we actually cast on. Knit, knit, and getting ourselves down to just the 1 needle instead of the 2 needles. Okay, and you'll end up with something, I'm not going to go ahead and finish this, but you'll end up with something that looks like nothing. It looks like nothing at this point. You're wondering, how is this ever going to look great? But it does. After you work a few rows, we're jumping back over to this alpaca sample now. After I finish knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, and getting it all onto 1 needle, we are ready to join in the round now. And I think the thing that's confusing to people is that, because there's a little bit of knitting here. How do you join in the round when there's a little bit of knitting here? Okay, that's what I'm going to demonstrate that I didn't do in the last video. So just like joining anything in the round, I'm setting it all out and making sure it's not twisted. My working yarn is over here on the right. I'm just going to pick up and continue in 2x2 rib when I join in the round. So get everything close to the tips of the needles. It doesn't matter if you're using circular needles, double pointed needles, whatever. Place a marker and then just maybe. Oh, this marker's too small. Oh, geez. I thought I knew which needle size I was using. I did not. Let me get a bigger marker. That's crazy. We use a huge marker. Okay. So I'm just going to start knit 2, purl 2. The cast on is finished. Now I'm just knitting my hat cuff, doing whatever the pattern tells me to do or whatever. And you'll see that where we joined, it does look pretty funky. It starts to look a lot better as you work more rounds, but it kind of always looks funny. And but you have yarn right there to fix it. And that's why I saved this sample so I can show you how we're going to fix this. This is where we joined in the round, and it does not look as even as the rest of it. So I'm going to take the tapestry needle, and from what it looks like, I'm following up this row of knit stitches, and the second one, it looks like this is almost detaching itself from this. So I'm going pull that back down into there. That's already looking a little better. And then I'm going to connect this over to here. Usually when I'm doing this, I try something out and see how it looks. And then if it doesn't look right, I just pull it back out. But I'm actually really satisfied with the way that looks. Put it back down into there. That looks really good. That's a lot smoother than it was, isn't it? And then my working yarn is here in the back, and I can just weave in this end in the back. And then when I block it, I'll give it a little bit of extra attention to make sure it's straightened out. But I think that was the confusing part for people, is like, how do we do this when I already have some knitting on there, and why does it look so terrible where I've joined in the round? And hopefully I've answered those questions and shown you how to fix it. I hope that's all that you needed to get your tubular cast on in the round going. Good luck.